Hey friends, I've been wanting to hop on and just share with you about a tough day that I had today, but how it was able to be turned around. I am being challenged with pain today. Sitting is difficult. I have toxic bumps in areas where I sit that makes it very difficult and painful from this mold illness. That is just one of the symptoms that some of us with mold illness have, are just these odd bumps that just show up out of nowhere. And they can last a week or two before they disappear and then show up somewhere else. But I'm dealing with that and some skin stuff, weird toe and foot pain that's made it difficult to walk. On some days in the last 2 weeks, I'm like, I can't even figure out what that's from, and swelling. And then I had a moment of sadness because my body is not allowing me to enter many buildings, many old buildings. And there is a function coming up that I likely will not be able to go to because of the age of the building and the fact that it had a lot of repairs needing to be done. The reception is going to be in a basement. I don't do well with basements. I actually avoid them because of the tightness on my chest. So there was a moment of sadness recognizing, shoot, another thing I'm going to miss. I'm limited to 40 to 45 minutes of travel. When I do more than that, the last time I did a 1-hour trip one way and then came home the same day, that hour back, it took me a week to recover from that traveling. I mean, it's just ridiculous, some of the weird, odd things that I deal with. And I kind of summarized it in my head of, man, I just feel like a leper today, like an outcast. You know, in Bible times where they couldn't be around people because of their skin condition, and they, you know, had to live separate from other people. And sometimes I identify with that because of the limits of what I'm able to do due to the mold illness and what being in certain buildings do with my breathing. So I just wanted to kind of share with you how I overcame that. I chose not to stay in the sadness, and I also chose not to focus on my body pain. I acknowledged it, and yeah, it might have shown on my face when my husband came home, and he's like, "Why do you look so sad?" And I told him these things. I started crying, and I said, I'm in pain, but nobody wants to hear that. And I feel the same way with coming on here. Nobody wants to hear all of the bad things that happens in somebody's body who has mold illness. I chose not to stay in it, and I wouldn't allow it to steal my hope of healing, nor my joy that has been deposited inside of me from God. And I overcame this by, one, I accepted where my body is. I'm learning that I have to accept exactly where I'm at today and just observe it without judgment towards my body. Because I will be honest, in the past, I gave judgment against my body. Like, why aren't you just functioning right? You know, dang nabbit, wish I could just exchange you out for something else, you know, that body part that just didn't want to work. And I'm just learning to be, I guess you could say, more accepting and loving towards myself. Didn't realize I was not as loving towards myself with the illness areas, you know, that the bumps show up on, or the skin issues are at, or whatever. Breathing doesn't want to function right. And then the next thing I did was I adapted. Today I adapted to just help my body feel better. I did sit differently than I normally do so that I could take away some of the pressure and some of the pain on the spots where I was sitting. And I avoided walking a certain way when the foot pains were happening. You know, I took off rings because rings were tight from the swelling. So just paying attention to my body. And then chose to not dismiss, deny, or shove down my feelings and what I'm thinking. It's it is what it is right now of what I'm feeling and experiencing, and I'm allowing it to be present. I also prayed after recognizing these things and sharing with my husband how I was feeling. I just decided to pray and ask Jesus to comfort me, to help me walk through this, and just to help me carry this. And asked him to give me a new perspective, because I didn't want to be in sadness. I didn't want to be in focus on the pain mode, because it just drains you even more. I'm already drained. I don't need more of that. And then I chose rest, even though I knew my task list. I've got a task list every day that I make, and I was just lenient with myself, even though I accomplished zero, absolutely zero on my task list today. I was gentle with myself and just let me rest. And I listened to my body. And then when I did have some energy, yes, I made my meals, but then when I did have some energy, I was able to work on some dishes. They've also piled up for the last couple days because of that not feeling well. I then envisioned, okay, what is it like to be healthy again? And I remember the past, what it was like to be able to travel on an airplane, not get sick on it, even with excitement the night before and maybe lacking of sleep, I was still able to travel. That was healthy to me, health, of just not getting depleted. And then I envisioned future, when I'm finally done with all my protocols, the mold, the mast cell, and the nervous system rebooting in the neuroplasticity. What will my body look like and act like on the other side of this protocol and this work I'm right now doing? And I'm going to have energy. It's going to be a celebration. It's going to be excitement of not being in that pain anymore. And I'm going to be able to travel again. I'm going to be able to go places with my husband. When I'm hearing from the brain neuroplasticity that my body will be calmer and I'll be able to enter buildings with less reactions, whereas before I haven't been, without getting sick and all of these crazy things going on. So I hold on to hope for healing. And I also am holding on to contentment today, right here where I'm currently at, with that thought of, what if I were never to be healed? Would I still have hope? And yeah, I still would have hope, and I would still find contentment in this moment. I found peace again, and I found joy, knowing that I can persevere through this. Even if it were till the day I die, I can persevere through this. And I can have peace and calm despite my pain, despite my discomfort, despite all the little surprises that like to show up. We'll just say that. So my challenge to you would be, how are you giving yourself grace, and how are you resting in contentment and peace despite something that is difficult, such as me having the mold illness? Are you tapping into the joy that's already been placed within you from Christ? Are you tapping into Him walking through things with you and walking through this journey and not feeling alone? Are you tapping into those things and accepting your body as is and giving yourself unconditional love? No, I'm praying for you, wishing you well. Thanks for listening. Remember, we can be well, even while ill. Hug sent to you, my friend.